you love to play. Oh, you love to play. Don't your comments won't relay. Sign this on my page for you. Oh my God, he changed. Young life, I can't see back karma. I just need some brains so I could keep myself in order.
Hey Play Cousins, welcome and welcome back to my channel. And this is something new that I'm gonna try. So I know I told you guys on Tuesdays that I was going to try to do like throwback Tuesdays, like throwback videos that I recorded pre-pandemic, just like, because I've always taken pictures, recorded videos, but like just in snippets, just to do it. Like I've always been that type. I just enhanced it more, like especially after my mom's diagnosis and then after she passed. Like, to look back now, even looking at my vlogs, it's like, oh my God. Or it's certain things that I didn't catch in the first vlog, the first time that I watch it. Looking at it, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Or I can look back and laugh. Like me and Ty was watching yesterday, we were watching 1 year later, and it was officially a year that my mom had transitioned, and I was just stating what I was feeling and how I was dealing with grief. And it was it was good to look at, and actually good for me and him, because he was like, oh wow, like he was able to relate, because some people were dealing with grief, like they don't talk about it, and he hasn't really talked about it. He's been kind of doing a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I haven't said yet, and I don't think it's time yet. But when I do, it'll make sense. But he hasn't really talked about it. So to see me and how I feel with grief, it made sense, and it made him even more comfortable, because he was like, oh, like you go through the same thing too, if that makes sense. So yeah, so anyway, like I wanted to do, like, maybe do like called like Talk Tuesday. Not a very long video, but just where we're like talking about like current events and things that's going on, that I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, let me take this to my play cousins and my neighbors and see how they feel about it, and see if they'll comment, in the comment section, if they have any thoughts about it. So this Talk Tuesday, I want to talk about the documentary. If you have not seen it, it has come out on Max, the streaming app Max, and it's called Quiet on the Set. Y'all, and as a parent, my kid, okay, it meshed for me, because I grew up with the first cast of all of that. So that was like my generation, like Keenan, Kel. Like I remember watching them. I remember watching like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like I remember those things. And I know y'all looking at me like crazy, but it's like I had Ty, like I got pregnant with Ty when I was 19. Well, 19, well, like 20. Yeah, like 20. And I had Ty when I was 21. So yeah, but so it, like I remember Are You Afraid of the Dark, all of that, because I remember singing, because TLC was out, so I remember, oh, is it all that, this is all that, like I remember watching it. I also remember like the era, like it's like now I'm a parent, where Drake and Josh had my son in a chokehold. Carly had him in a chokehold. So like that wasn't my era, that was his era. So we both watched it together. Where I watched it before him, because when I watched it he was asleep. When I watched the conclusion, we watched the first 2 episodes together, and my jaw dropped. dropped. Hence, because like I'm the Ren and Stimpy era. I love Ren and Stimpy. So here's the thing. Paramount Plus, when I got Paramount Plus, I think it was free through something else. I can't even remember what it was free through. But when I was going through and I was like, oh my God, they got Ren and Stimpy. I was so excited because I loved Ren and Stimpy when I was growing up. I watched Ren and Stimpy. I look forward to Ren and Stimpy. So when I started watching it, I was like, wait, why did I like this cartoon again? Whoa, wait, what? Like looking back at it, like I promise you, I didn't even get through the first season. And I was sitting there going, why did I like this cartoon? Why did I like this cartoon? Because even when we first started watching the documentary and they were showing the part where everybody was getting slimed, and I was like, oh my God, everybody wanted to be slimed. Everybody wanted to have like the green slime. And he was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. Like we were kids. I was like, why do kids want to run around with water guns and throw water balloons? Like for us, the sliming part, it was fun. You was breaking the rules because kids, as a kid, you feel like, oh my God, all these rules, when in reality, like there's rules everywhere. But you feel like your parents are doing like this chokehold on you. You can't do nothing. You can't wait to be an adult, when in reality, when you become an adult child, you have rules. You have rules no matter what. There's rules everywhere. There's rules everywhere. There's rules on YouTube. It's rules on social media. It's rules on the road. It's rules at your job. It's rules at school. It's rules everywhere. But it was more like Nickelodeon was like a space for us. Like we didn't have the internet. No, we didn't have the internet. We had Nickelodeon. We had Disney. We did have PBS. And our PBS wasn't Arthur. Our PBS was He-Man, She-Ra, the Thundercats. And what else? Yeah, so like our Saturday morning was like Pee-wee Playhouse. Like, yeah, so but we also had like, once it started coming up, and if you had cable, like you look forward to Nickelodeon, you look forward to Disney. Disney really didn't have that much except like the Mickey Mouse Club. Where they had like, I think it was Justin Timberlake and like Britney Spears when they were younger. They were in Ariana Grande, and they were in the, not Ariana Grande. What's the girl name? Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera, Ariana Grande is my son's age. Christina Aguilera was ours. And they would be getting they sing on in the Mickey Mouse House Club. And it was like a club where they would sing songs, and the kids would be there dancing, and the lights was on. Like it was a club. It was literally like a club for kids. So to watch like the first 2 episodes, and I was like, oh my God. Because like the baby fetus, I think it was called, like, because it was the youngest rapper ever. And so that was the black boy, and he was in this spandex stuff. And it was baby feet. I think he said baby fetus. Or fetus MC. Something with fetus. And I was like, I looked at Ty because that wasn't my era, that was his era. And he was like, oh, I don't remember that episode. He didn't remember much from all that. He was like, I watched it, but I kind of didn't watch it. But to like, he had Amanda Bynes. I had the Katrina. I think her name was Katrina girl, because I remember her voice. Because I used to be like, ooh, her voice is irritating me. Because she used to say, like she used to do that. Ooh, that used to irritate me. She used to irritate me. But looking at behind the scenes, it was like she was going through purity hell. She was going through hell. And you don't think like that's what's happening behind the scenes. That's what's going on You think like they have this lavish lifestyle, they get to go all over the world and they're making all this money, and that wasn't the case. Or like even looking at the young boy who him and his mom fell out, and the whole time she felt something was off and she actually was protecting him. But because he felt like his mom protecting him messed up his chance for getting his family out of the hood, he didn't take that way. And it was like, you can never get that back. Like, they don't even have a great relationship. And I hope now, like, I really hope, because his mom is still alive, I really hope like he rebuilds and get the realization that your mom saved you from something that was so worse. Even though you don't feel like that, because that was your dream and that's what you really wanted to do. Because sometimes, as I said it in my weekly vlog, sometimes that's just not your path. Even though you want it so bad, that's just not your path. Also looking at how Giovanni and Raquel, because you weren't the ideal, meaning because you were African American, that you wasn't a choice, so being black saved you. Y'all, after my son watched the last 2 episodes yesterday, because I had watched it before him, and I was like, I'll watch it again. Like, just brace yourself, because I wanted him to brace himself, because it, like, there's certain things in our childhood, like, you be excited, like, I get, even for us, like R. Kelly, like, we loved R. Kelly music, and to find out, it's like, bro, you wasn't even talking about no grown ladies. You was talking about, I mean, you had grown ladies, but you was mostly attracted to kids. Even though you are super talented, you are a great singer, like, you are musically genius, you still have this issue. Like, my face when I first watched it, I was like, my son, when he watched it, he was like to see the people who wrote letters, like to hear that young man say all the things that was done to him, and to walk into the court and notice that your predator had a full side, like you had a full side of support, and the only people on your side was your mom, your brother, and your dad. Can you imagine how lonely that feels? Which is why a lot of victims don't come out, because of stuff like that. And even after that, like, you got a job at Disney, you were still able to work around kids after you served 16 months, and then you only got 16 months to know that you was doing this stuff. And to read like the things of the letters, all the people who wrote letters, only one person retracted, because they was like, I wasn't told all of that. I wasn't told all of that stuff that went on. So they retracted their letter. They was like, if I knew all of that went on, I would have never wrote a letter. Everybody else, their letter stood. And they was basically saying, oh, they had to be tempted, like you were tempting him. You got a picture of John Wayne Gacy in your house, like this is a convicted unaliver. Why are you writing him? You were his pen pal. And that's what, like, I keep telling you, like, email. We had email. You had to get a pen and paper. You had to mail it off. You had to buy stamps. You had to mail it off, and then you had to wait for it to come back. We used to do, like, they used to do pen pals in school. Like, it used to be kids all across the world where you would write, like, to this person, this complete stranger. And they called it pen pals, because you had to write either a pencil or a pen. Like, you had to write your thoughts in your letters. It wasn't a journal. Like, what you type in an email now, you had to write it and mail it and wait 5 to 7 business days, depending on how long it take. Y'all. But looking back at it now with adult eyes, it's like, oh my God, like, my son's generation of like Drake and Josh and the Ariana Grande. I don't remember the name of her show. Excuse me. I do remember iCarly because he loved iCarly, but I never really sat down and watched it. When he explained it, he was like, "Oh, her brother is raising her because the mom. I think either the mom was on business or the mom had passed away and dad was on business, and the brother is like her guardian, and she came up with this internet show, and like they're teens, they're still doing good in school or whatever, but they're entrepreneurs." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's dope." Didn't think anything of it, of thinking like it would be a bad situation for my son. That's so crazy. And so he came and he was like, "So you mean to tell me all the shows that I love have these predators on it?" And I was like, two. It had two. Because he watched the Amanda Bynes show. I didn't. But I remember her face, but she was in a movie that I watched. And I was like, "Oh, that's her." And we watched Big Fat Liar together. And I was like, "Oh, that's the little girl. Oh, okay." To hear the things that the women went through in the workplace. And I mean, that's not uncommon. That's so not uncommon, where women seems like they have to do some kind of sexual innuendos, something sexual to make the man feel better because you're in control. And that don't necessarily mean you know what you doing. Ugh. And the fact that, and then you feel like, well, this is my dream, so I have to do it, and this is my opportunity. I won't get another opportunity, because the people in power were saying that. It was like, if you don't, you will be blackballed. If you don't, you will never work here again. Like, how do you... Like, I just think, like, as a parent, I was just blown away. And then blown away, like, because Drake's mom, it was like, how you not know nothing? Like, his girlfriend mom picked up on it quick because of how his predator was calling him. But when he started describing like how his predator was doing the wedge, and I was telling Ty, and I was like, that doesn't even have to be just inappropriate touching abuse. That can be abuse, period. Like, when somebody is trying to draw you away from your family, from your friends, from your norm, and they're trying to get you specifically just by yourself, red flag. His poor dad. His dad warned his mom. He was like, "Listen, keep him away, because something's not right about that person." Like, your gut instincts, follow that. Like, when you feel it, like something about a person, it was like, something's off. And I tell Ty all the time. I even tell my friends, when my homeboys be asking, like, "What you think about my girl?" And I be like, "I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but something's off." And a lot of y'all dudes, when girls be telling y'all that, y'all be like, "Oh, y'all jealous." And it's like, no, we don't be jealous. It's like, it's just something you can't explain, like you can't feel it. And then later on, here y'all come with, such and such is crazy. She did X, Y, Z. Like, even with my son, it was like this one situation with his friend, his homie. And I was like, he was driving a wedge. I was like, he was calculated. He manipulated. I tried to tell you and you wouldn't listen. So the fact that boy's mom, you didn't listen because y'all didn't get along. So his predator used that to his advantage. They didn't get along. So you were able to pile everybody up and attack the dad, move the dad out the way, and snake your way into it. And the stuff that baby went through. And he didn't even have the courage to tell his dad, because once his predator got caught by his girlfriend's mom, because like she noticed that something was wrong. He didn't actually confess to the girlfriend's mom. She noticed something was wrong, so she put him in a place to where he can get some help. So she put him in a place to where he could get therapy. He could talk to a therapist. And then even with the therapist, him talking, he finally, like, later on confessed to his mom. He was like, he don't even know what happened. He just broke. I literally think, like, your mind couldn't take it anymore. You didn't have a space to what do I want to say? Compartments. I can't say the word. Put it in compartments. This compartment, I can't even say it. I don't know why I can't say the word. Anyway, put it in a compartment, because that's literally what your brain does. When it's something traumatic, something you don't want to deal with, something that hurts you, like, we put them in compartments and block them out. And sometimes it's certain things, which they call triggers, that makes you remember, and you be like, oh. Or that brings it back to fruition, and you like, oh. Like, y'all. So he said he don't even know what it was, what happened, but he just broke, and he just told his mom everything on the phone. She called the police. But it's like, oh my gosh. And so, like, to watch that and to see him talk about how they had the recorder thing, and I was like, oh my God, because I lived that in this story time. It was like, and he was like, it's like a movie. It's literally like because you've seen it on a movie, and so when you see it in real life in your face, it's like, this is like a movie. Like, that's real. When they're trying to get the person to confess, and he got the person to confess. He got his predator to confess. And they only gave him 16 months. That's so crazy. And also scary, because it's like, it's people incarcerated that had little amounts of weed that got more time than people who have hurt children. Like, y'all, like, it blew me. Like, my son was sitting there going like, huh? Like, he loved the Drake and Josh show, but to look at that boy on the show, like, you had no idea he was going through that turmoil. You had no clue. And as a parent, it's like, and then even for me, it's like, so the whole station, because it's a lot of kids that's coming out that was like, my workplace was horrible. And like, that's literally how to relate it, to make it relatable to today. Like, everybody wants to be an influencer. Like, look at the situation we're in now with our presidents. We don't want to vote for neither. But for me, because my ancestors fought so hard for the right to, I'm going to exercise my right, but I don't want to vote for neither. I don't want neither. And then on the other side, it's like, nobody wanted the job. Nobody else wanted the job. Nobody else wanted the job. So everybody want to be influencers. Everybody. Like, nobody don't want to be a president of the United States no more. Like, think about it. Like, when kids were little, like, when we were little, people be like, what you want to be? President of the United States. What you want to be? A doctor. What you want to be? A lawyer. What you want to be? A nurse. What you want to be? A plumber. What you want to be? A carpenter. Because you would see, like, your dad, most of the time your dad would have a trade. Or you saw your mom doing certain things. And so it's like, nobody. You don't want to be a hairstylist? You don't want to be a doctor? Nobody don't want to be the president of the United States? Nobody? Like, this is what we got to deal with? For real? This is what we got to deal with. We got homelessness, we got recession, we got gun problems, we got all this stuff, and we're banning TikTok. Why? Because they're making money? Oh, because they're messing with our data. Cut it. Because you're pulling our data. Facebook, Instagram, every app that even when that phone is on the side and you're not even touching it, it's pinging. Ping, 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 ping. Every app. Once you hit, I agree to these terms. Once you hit okay, it's pinging. They're pulling your data. Right now, this little green light is on, the microphone is on, and you're listening to everything that I say. Going viral, doing crazy extreme stuff, that's not how you go viral. They have to let you in the algorithm. They choose who they want in the algorithm. They choose it. They choose it. So when you mad with your family member because they got more followers, or you jealous because they got more followers because they allowed your family member in the algorithm and they got more views, it doesn't work that way, y'all. Like, you don't want to do nothing different? It's so scary. It's so scary. It's so scary. That's so crazy. When you think like these people have this lavish, wonderful life and they're living the dream, and the whole time they're fighting trauma. So, hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. If you watched the documentary, even if you haven't watched the documentary, go in the comments. Tell me what you think. Let's vent. Let's talk. Let's chat. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life. I'll see you in the next one.